Welcome to Thrones and Scones. It's your weekday morning podcast where we talk Game of Thrones over breakfast. I don't know what voice I'm trying to do.
Sounds like
I
you
think
have
it fails
COPD.
on all levels.
Welcome
to Thrones and Scones.
When you first started, I thought you were doing like almost like an NPR kind of whispery.
Oh, wait! Don't tell me. What's this episode called? Yeah. And now. His watch has ended. Season 3, episode 4. You know the thing. It's Tony, Hans, Jeremy. We have Scones. We're talking Game of Thrones. I think at this point you know. Who is skipping our 8-second intro? I think we've hammered it into you enough. Welcome, friends, back to this lovely Thursday. Would you guys like a little wiki action?
Always.
Yeah, lay it on me.
Wiki. Will someone lay down a beat?
Hans,
Jeremy.
drop it. Drop it like it's hot.
I don't have beats.
Wiki. The Night's Watch takes stock. Varys meets is better. Yo, Arya is taken to the commander of the Brotherhood, and Dany exchanges a chain for a whip.
I like it.
That is all.
It was a rough beat, but the rap was good.
Yeah, I can't wait until because we're Skyped in right now. We live across the Midwest from each other, and so there is a slight delay that will get fixed. So maybe it'll line up perfectly, or maybe it will just be terrible. Who's to say? For the time being, though, and now his watch is ended. What a great episode.
Yeah, this was good. So much happens. We didn't really cover this as much yesterday when we were talking, but, you know, the kind of the cliffhanger part for Daenerys, as she says, I'm gonna buy my army, and the slave master's like, slut, you can't afford 100 of these men. You know, he calls her a slut, I think, like over 20 times in that episode.
Or
whore.
Something
like that. It's pretty crazy. And she's like, no, you can have one of my dragons. And again, I think we talk a little bit about it, that no one really believes her. But this is just the coolest way to kind of see this kind of conclude. It was probably my second favorite part of the show. I like the end for the Night's Watch as well. So
really. Okay. Over the Daenerys thing.
Yeah.
See, that is me. Yeah. You love everything with Daenerys.
No, I said I like Daenerys a lot, but
if she would have been topless,
it would have been a different story.
For
sure.
Right. Or if like the dragonfire would have burned her clothing off of her completely, definitely would have been into it.
I mean, are you guys telling me that you did not feel just this innate attraction as she's speaking Valyrian? I don't know the words, but you know, she's just off in tongues, and she's go out and she's you speak Valyrian, mira me say ala ulga. Like, are you telling me that just didn't do it for you? This is my talking all the way up through everything we've seen, season 7. This is my favorite Daenerys scene.
Yeah, I agree. It's so
it
good.
is, and even not expecting that she was actually going to give away Drogon. Like the way that it turns, the badass speech that she plays that sometimes feels out of place or, you know, a little too much for the moment. It was perfect here. Mm-hmm. She wins over everyone. She does it her way. She does it in a way that her advisors aren't even expecting. It's flawless.
So good.
It's fierce, girl.
It's fierce.
It's fierce. Me Too movement, bitches. Yeah, no, it was good. It was a cool scene. The whole turning on the leaders, the whole rally cry for, you know, saving the slaves. It was, I don't know, it was an enjoyable part.
Do you think there's that one Unsullied when she's like, if any man wishes to go, he will, and no one will harm him. Will you fight for me as free men? And then there's just one Unsullied in the back. Could you have maybe said this before they cut off my nipple?
Oh, I just keep wanting, you know, how they have all their names. They give it to them. One gets them to come up. What is your name? My name is One Nipple. You were there for my naming.
You were there. This one is pleased to serve you, Your Grace.
They call me Lefty sometimes.
Yeah. So that's it. Yeah, Daenerys. We got some dope scenes for her. I don't mean to take away from other stuff in the episode, because a lot does happen. Yeah, that one guy lost his nipple. Jaime lost his hand. He proceeds to open up this episode by just falling into a pile of shit. And I think even in today's modern medical world, that would be a terrible thing to do.
Yeah, with a
talking in
giant
medieval
open-
times here.
open wound.
Whew, that's got to be rough.
Let's be honest, people get amputated all the time in this, and not nearly enough of them die quickly enough from septic wounds.
I mean, but see, here's the thing. Then when something like Khal Drogo happens, where maybe that is how it would play out, this little cut turns into this big thing, we criticize it.
It's true.
It's true.
But no.
I thought we were saying like that probably wasn't going to be a bad wound, and then the witch causes it to be worse.
Yeah, I know. I was just playing. Devil's advocate.
Just saying.
I think it was an excellent point.
A little bit of horse feces, on a freshly amputated wound, completely cool.
I think that if there's anything we've learned from our show so far is that we can be happy with nothing.
Yeah. You're here for complaining, and my gosh, we'll give it to you.
We'll give it to you.
I got to apologize. I have to apologize so much, Hans. I said, I think in our season 1 review, I was really trying to be insightful and claimed that Joffrey was a psychopath, and he's really the only one we get to see in this series. And Hans corrected me, and my God, are you so 5,000% correct, guys? Who would have seen it? Our shining knight in white armor, rescuing Theon from these terrible people. He is the terrible people. What? We get yeah. We still don't know. Theon still doesn't know who he is.
Still the mystery man, yeah.
Yeah, but Ramsay making his play there, turning things around.
Why? So my question with this, and even in my notes, my question is, I get that he's a psychopath, and that is why. But still, why is he doing it? Is he really just this bored that he has nothing better to do than
I kind of think so.
Elaborate, ridiculous torture?
I suppose. I mean, their house root and stem is pretty messed up, and we'll start to see why and how later on. But you kind of just get this house that's rooted in this ancient tradition. I mean, their symbol is literally flaying people, which is skinning them alive.
Yeah.
And then you're a bastard of this house, meaning you're not allowed to do any of the noble stuff, but you've got all the resources.
Yeah.
And here you are, just left to your own endeavors, and you're a psychopath. What else are you going to do besides kill a bunch of your own men just to trick this hostage of yours into having about 30 minutes of happiness and revelation, which, by the way, it's too early, and this just goes to show the great writing that they're doing. It's too early to feel sorry for Theon. Why am I?
Yeah. I don't know.
We never really get to feel a sense of, at least for me, a sense of satisfaction about what he's going through. I always just, it goes from hating him to kind of feeling bad for him.
Yeah, I think because it just takes such a turn, right? I mean, he's just the worst. But then how what Ramsay does to him is just so far beyond terrible that it's you feel for. I'd almost think you'd feel sorry for anybody in that situation.
I was just trying to remember for when the sister tells him to leave, how is it the next day he's captured, or is it that same day?
It's not that same day.
Okay. I was trying to remember.
Yeah, timelines are rough, but it's not the same day.
And he does, I think, another thing too, where you start to feel for him a little bit, aside from just the shit he's going through. Again, an ode to the writing is where he, and I definitely like this moment a lot, where he does say something. I don't know if Ramsay brings up his dad or whatever. And Theon says, "My real father lost his head in King's Landing."
Mm-hmm.
So, and he says, "I made a choice and I made it wrong," and kind of admitting all his stuff. And yeah,
with that, all is forgiven.
No, but
yeah, it's I don't forgive him, but it's hard for me to you got to think the hate we're gonna see for from Theon from some other characters down the road. It's also going off the fact that he didn't kill Brandon Rickon, or that he did kill Brandon Rickon when we know he didn't.
Right.
And so maybe that's why it's a little easier for us to kind of backpedal a little bit, but he's still one of the big pillars of why everything happened with Robb and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
It derailed that really hard, and he should be held to account for that.
For sure. Do you think he would have killed Brandon Rickon if he would have caught him?
I think he even says he wouldn't. I think he says, they're going to be punished, but I wouldn't.
It's so easy to say that, though. I think that's
his
the
men would've
darkest we've
wanted-
seen Theon, and I wouldn't have put it out of the realm of possibility.
Sure.
I don't know, though.
I don't know. I can't
But he doesn't even
confidently
kill
answer.
the kids, right? He doesn't kill them.
No, he makes someone do it, but
Right.
you can make someone kill Brian
Yeah,
Rickon.
True.
All right, the cut that matters, the gash between Varys' legs. We finally get the full story.
Yes, from the man himself. Finally.
This was I really liked this scene a lot. It's I think Varys opening up, Varys really showing his friendship to Tyrion in a weird way. It's a cool scene.
Gets a little fucked up pretty quick though. He basically tells that he gets it for anyone who didn't just watch the episode. He basically, his story starts that he got a paralytic or he's paralyzed, but can feel everything. And then we get a absolute, not that we already knew, but now we get an absolute confirmation from the man himself that the root and stem are gone.
Yeah.
And then he talks about hearing the voice from the flames, and you get a little bit more about magic here and how it plays in the world and everything. Again, bringing more light, no pun intended, to the fact that this Lord of Light really does seem to be the real God,
true
or at least
God. Yep.
real God that does
Yeah,
have
yeah.
power in this world. And then after he talks about how the sorcerer did all this stuff, he opens his box and he's fucking got the sorcerer. And he's got his mouth all sewn shut and everything. It's pretty messed up.
I like how Tyrion looks in the box and goes, "The sorcerer." Like he has any idea
Like he
who
knows.
this guy is.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That was weird. And I thought when watching that part, I was like, is he prying open his desk? Like, is it his desk? And this guy has been in
it's
his
from
desk
IKEA. He got
for
it.
I'm like, dude, that's messed up. You're like, every day you're like doing some work on my desk, knock on it. Hey guys, you doing okay down there? Yeah, fuck you, my generals.
My Lord Hand, thank you so much for coming. You're just in time to help me assemble this Oofdevaven with these Allen wrenches. Thank you.
Do not over tighten.
And you get a little bit of a dark. So Varys has been a little shady here and there. You know, he's always playing his game and stuff, but definitely get a little bit darker side of Varys here, which I don't think we've seen.
I don't remember liking his character as much early on as I am this watch through.
Definitely the same for me. I don't
He's
really
enjoyable.
remember liking his character very much at all, or really thinking he was that notable. I found myself very interested in his character this time around.
On the converse end to that, somebody who I'm just finding easier and easier to hate, although respecting the character, is Tywin Lannister. We get to see Tywin Lannister. He's been cold to Tyrion. He's been slightly cold to Jaime. Cersei included. She basically gets just as cold of a shoulder as Tyrion does.
Yeah.
In this interesting little scene here where he's basically, oh yes, she's my daughter, she's the queen, but right now she's just a waste of my time. What do you want? Like,
Yeah, he shuts her down too. That was good. And then I like Cersei's response. He basically says, you've been letting Joffrey do whatever the hell he wants, like just tearing the kingdom apart or whatever. And Cersei's like, perhaps you should try stopping him from doing what he wants. And Tywin just says, I will. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of a badass moment.
we got far too little and too much happened after it that I kind of overshadowed it. Rest in peace, Jorah Mormont.
Oh, yeah.
And rest in peace is Craster. He can, I don't care about him.
It was nice. That was rewarding. Although things get way out of hand quite quickly.
Craster's RIS. Rest in shit.
Rest in pig shit.
Yeah, and then Sam and Gilly and the baby, right? Isn't that?
Yeah.
Don't they leave that part, or they leave that night, or
They do, yeah. They leave right away.
Sam gets Tilly and the baby. I was really disappointed that GR moment. So I know it wasn't super early. We've got a good bit of the Night's Watch. We've got a good bit of Jorah Mormont. But I was disappointed to see him go. I wanted to see more. I really enjoyed that character.
Yeah, I agree there.
I wanted to see him kill more people.
Yeah, well, he didn't even get to kill Rast.
No, he just held him there for a little bit and then choked on his own blood.
And I feel like I remember Rast remember some scenes that we've had before. But really, have they made Carl Tanner out to be a character until now? Like, he's all of a sudden this ringleader of this takeover, and I don't really recognize his face.
No, I don't think so. I was kind of lost at those characters, too.
Again, they can't introduce everybody, I suppose. Any more real notable stuff about, and I kind of already touched on it, which is why I'm not bringing too much light on it. My least favorite part of this episode is Marjorie is good at this game, but like most people, she's not as good as she thinks she is. And right now, she feels and she exudes like she's untouchable. How does it take so long for someone to call her on it? Like, we don't get to see, her just desserts come around for so long. And it just seems like it would come to play earlier.
Yeah, and I guess I'm a little confused at the confidence that they hold in what they're trying to do and why. Like, it's really all Loras who fucks everything up, and we can get to that. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but because the whole plan, which we get introduced into this story, is Marjorie and Sansa talk. Marjorie discusses with Sansa about marrying Loras, which is basically like Sansa's dream, right?
Yeah.
And that whole plan, and you think it's going to be really good, but they're just kind of like, they gotta know that they're in King's Landing. Like, they gotta know people are gonna figure this out or find this out. Like, why even talk about it this early? Or why even start, like, spreading the word so early? Wait until things are actually done and she's in a place where she can make decisions,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seemed a little...
And the politics of the marriages really don't help her family, right? I mean, I'm talking for Marjorie's family. It doesn't make sense. Why would you have your brother marry into the traitor's family? I didn't understand that.
Sure, it helps just as much as it would have helped Joffrey. It's, if Robb dies, it secures the North for
Yeah,
you.
that's what it's all about.
Really? You think that was maybe?
Absolutely. Yeah, because Sansa's, at least under their understanding right now, Sansa's the heir to Winterfell.
To everything?
Right? Yep.
And that's what the Boltons exploit down the road, too.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Anything else big from episode 4? His watch has ended.
Yeah. We meet the rest of the Brotherhood without banners. It's sweet.
True there. We get to see Beric Dondarrion, new actor, I believe, from the one time we see him previously. And, he's lost an eye.
Yeah.
He going toe-to-toe with the Hound. Some good moments there. Some really good talks. Arya kind of gets to confront the Hound a little bit. Again, it's about to get badass, but it's setting it up pretty cool.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. We get the setup, and then juggly-free episode. We talk the good, we talk the bad.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no jugglies. So
No juggly action here. We do get to see a little feel good in the sense that Brienne and Jaime are kind of building this rapport. Mm-hmm. But that's as close as my heart got to being warmed by a sweet bosom or a nice ball forward man. So. That's what we got. We also do have scones. And today, because I think I was just such a mess, I didn't even say.
I was going to say, we didn't have the topic. Who's...
I cooked today.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, I didn't do it today.
Why don't you tell me about this sweet scone that you made?
So I made a pecan sage scone.
Savory. Nice.
And, it's kind of savory. You'll have to check out the picture on Instagram. It's pretty good.
nice.
I think we're out of time, unfortunately. I'd love to get more into the process and everything like that, the building blocks of the scones. But for now, I'll just say that you can always find more from us, thronesandscones.com. You can hit up our social media and listen in as we return tomorrow to end our week and get halfway through with episode 5 of season 3. My good friends, are you down with GOT?
Yeah, you know me.
It is. I don't bake ever. Like, I cook a lot, but I don't really bake much. I forget how much more of a mess it makes in your kitchen.
Yeah, we don't bake it. It's funny, we just don't use. I'll cook here and there, but we just don't use the oven for anything.
Oh, really?
Just
We cook a lot.
A lot of stovetop, a lot of
Yeah, the oven kind of sucks.
A lot of pizza pizzazz.
What do you? So I know that people like to do like pizza, obviously, and then I've heard chicken nuggets.
On the pizza pizzazz?
Yeah.
Oh, anything.
Anything.
I'll
It's
throw
amazing.
anything on that sucker.
Really?
Yeah.
Eggs. Anything.
Eggs?
I don't do eggs. No. Anything you would put in like the oven.
Yeah. So in college we would use it and make like omelets on it.
Weird.
That's interesting. I have not
Like huge omelets?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't have to use the entire pizza pan, but yeah. Because you can cook the bottom or the top, so you just use the bottom. It's essentially making it a skillet and then cooking.
Do you guys know what I finally got to have the other day?
What's that?
Motherfucking nacho fries.
Oh, nice.
They back, baby. And I was right. I looked it up. There was never a burrito with the fries in it.
Okay. Yeah.
I totally lied about that.
I just feel like, it was definitely believable because they should have done it, right?
They should have done it.
They should have done it. I just feel like if they would have, I would have known.
I felt like, and this could have just been that Taco Bell that day, they were way less seasoned than they were in the past.
Interesting. I kind of like that though. Sometimes they get a little heavy on that seasoning, and I think the cheese is enough for me. That I don't need the heavy seasoning. I want it there, but I don't need them just to be packed with seasoning because I'm gonna dip it in that cheese anyway.
Agreed. They were good. They were solid. But I did find out again, it's another limited run.
God damn it!
Just bullshit.
I wonder how long they're gonna do it for.
First of all, Taco Bell, get your shit together. Again, my favorite restaurant. And I say restaurant, not fast food place. It's my favorite sit-down restaurant.
Sit-down restaurant.
If you ever propose, you'll take Jenna's dad to Taco Bell to talk it over.
Yeah.
We're here today to bring us together for this magical moment.
I just want to throw this out there again. Taco Bell, I'm free for any consulting work. I've got ideas, okay? I've even made some of those ideas come to fruition through just mostly constant harassment at your restaurants, getting these people to make what I want. They're missing the obvious, and they've been missing it a long time. And it's not hard. They have the materials. They have the cheesy gordita crunch, which, again, my all-time favorite food. Get it with steak, by the way. Excellent. It's worth the upcharge. Every penny.
39 cents or something.
Sometimes I want just a tad more delicious calories and fat. Okay? On the cheesy gordita crunch. I want it to be just a little worse for me.
Okay. Hard to do. And
it's obvious, and they just don't do it. But I've had it once. I've got a lot of pushback from these employees, I will say, so I'm not happy about that. The cheesy chalupa crunch, okay? It's the same thing as the cheesy gordita crunch, but instead of the gordita shell, which is basically just, an unfried chalupa shell, okay?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You just plop that gordita shell, make the chalupa shell, sprinkle a little cheese, stick your taco right in there. It's excellent. Ooh.
But you've only gotten them to do it one time?
I've gotten them to, maybe twice. I get a lot of this pushback of, like, it doesn't work with the chalupa shell or something, and I'm thinking they just don't want to make it, or they don't know how to put it into the computer, or what have you. But I have, in fact, had it made, and it was a beautiful thing, so.
You could buy a chalupa and a taco.
That's what I've done that also. Also did the not as good as you may expect. Do you remember the quesalupa?
I do.
It was like it was basically a chalupa, but it had cheese baked into the shell, or like cheese like implanted into the shell itself. So it was like a little quesadilla as a shell, but it was also fried, unlike a quesadilla. So it was pretty bad for you. Also did what I called the cheesy quesalupa crunch. So it was then basically a cheesy gordita crunch, except for instead of a gordita shell, it was the quesalupa shell. And I had to make that one myself. I couldn't get anyone to do that one. That you don't need to bring that one back. Or you don't need to make that one.
Just picture you in a parking lot, like waiting, looking inside, waiting until there's not a line, and then just being like, all right, I got 5 minutes. And you go in and you like wedge the door so no one can open it, and you go and you walk over to the counter and you're like, all right, here's what's up.
Here's what's going to happen.
You slide a piece of paper across the desk.
Yeah. My mother is dying right now, and all she wants. And they still turn you down.
And I'm not saying you got to permanently put it on the menu. I wouldn't order it all the time. The cheesy gordita crunch, I agree, is the staple. It is better, but for a limited run, throw that cheesy chalupa crunch out there. You got the materials. All you got to do is just put it in writing.
Since you're a fan of the fries so much, would you want some sort of taco concoction with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. I can
100%.
speak for certainty because I already know that like the loaded potato griller thing is so good. Like if you were to just replace those potatoes with the seasoned fries, it'd be killer.
It'd be killer.
It would be killer. It would be. Yep.
I love a breakfast burrito every time we're at like a Mexican. Like I would almost rather have a breakfast burrito than have another type of burrito. So the whole potato and meat thing is just delicious.
It works so well.
What are your thoughts on Taco Bell breakfast?
I loved it when it came out, and I don't think I've had it in like over a year now.
Yeah.
But like every time I went and got it, my opinion of it went like slightly downhill.
Down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mess with the breakfast crunch wraps. That's about it.
Yeah. It's not their bread and butter, that's for sure.
So it came out right around the same time that Chick-fil-A announced their breakfast. So Emily and I were like, oh yeah, let's do both of them. And we did them both in the same day. Both very disappointing for me.
Really?
Yeah, for some reason, I've never been on the side that wants fried chicken for breakfast.
Oh, you're crazy.
But biscuits. I mean, it's essentially like a scone.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A, I mean, say what you will about a lot of their opinions as a corporate entity.
Yeah.
But their only opinion that I ever cared about, when I was working at Disney employees got a free chicken sandwich every Thursday.
Holy shit.
Oof, that was good times.
I forgot you worked at Disney.
Hell yeah. You forget about it because now we have a podcast where we talk about boobs.
Beebs.
So speaking of Chick-fil-A, I will say, again, despite their political and beliefs and all that stuff and pretty much overt racism, they do make one hell of a chicken sandwich. Chicken sandwich, delicious. Although they do make a bold statement saying that they are the original chicken sandwich.
That is very bold.
Do you think that's true, that they were the first people to ever put chicken on bread?
No. I'm sure KFC had to have that.
No, KFC took a long time to catch up with the non-just fried chicken in a bucket crowd.
Really?
Yeah. KFC's been pretty much late to the game on everything that you would have thought they would have caught on to earlier.
But I thought they were like a biscuit chicken kind of thing.
I don't think they ever sold that. I think people just did that.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, they sell it now, but another, just to make this fast food conversation even longer, beyond Chick-fil-A, and I don't even know if you put them at the top, who in fast food has the best fried chicken sandwich?
Fried chicken sandwich, okay. We're not, Chick-fil-A's out, right?
Chick-fil-A's out.
Okay, because I think that's an easy pick.
So,
yeah.
Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich.
I think that's the popular answer. I don't like spicy food, so I can't agree with you, but
it's delicious. It is.
I think it's this is a good question. I'll probably have to make the rounds. Just go buy a chicken sandwich at every place.
Put it to the test.
I was surprised the other day. I have recently had, I can't remember if I had the spicy chicken or just their regular chicken sandwich at Wendy's, but I remember thinking it was pretty decent. I like their chicken nuggets a lot. I've always been a proponent and a voter that Wendy's says the best chicken nuggets.
They're good.
They are very good.
Outside of Chick-fil-A, right? Which we could argue is actually chicken.
We've already ruled that out, yeah.
Okay.
But agreed.
So, but the other day I was at McDonald's. I'm actually really not a big McDonald's fan. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. I don't like their, I don't mind their food. It's fine, but I've never thought it was phenomenal or anything like that.
Their breakfast sandwiches are still legit.
Yeah, their breakfast is pretty killer for the fast food game for sure. Mm-hmm. But I had their, and I can't remember what it's called. It's not their McChicken. It's not their normal. It's like a old-fashioned.
Their artisan chicken sandwich.
No.
Oh.
It's actually their like old style or original style chicken sandwich. It's a fried chicken thing, and it's almost like a copy of Chick-fil-A's sandwich. It's a fried chicken with just pickles.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that.
And it was surprisingly, it's kind of pricey. They ended up, it's like by itself, it was like $3.50 or almost like $4 or something. But it was pretty delicious. I was surprised at how good it was. And I've only had it once, so I can't speak to the validity of this story. But
continuing a chicken theme, chicken strips at a restaurant, okay. I would argue Dairy Queen. Chicken strips.
I don't go to Dairy Queen. I haven't been there in years.
Because they do French fries and they do white bread with butter, but then they give you this delicious white gravy to dip it in.
To be fair, and I'm a proponent of anything gravy all the time, It's not really. It's just hot liquid.
It's
like
hot-
it doesn't even taste
it's
like
molten,
gravy.
It's molten white.
It's hot white
pepper.
with some pepper.
That's interesting. I don't really order. I'm trying to think. I don't really order chicken tenders all too often.
Did you guys know this? And I'm totally stealing this bit from. I don't even remember which person where I've seen this before. That there's a difference. Like the words chicken tenders, chicken strips, chicken fingers mean different things.
Really?
No,
Did you know this?
No idea.
No.
So there's like a hierarchy. Like chicken tenders is like a tenderloin that's cut into strips. Chicken strips is any singular strip of any part of the chicken.
Okay.
And then chicken fingers is basically like the chicken nugget, like ground up.
The fingers
mash.
of the chicken. Yeah.
Yeah, the fingers. The mash that then
claw.
they fry. So, so there's a very, like, they mean things. And, like, according to rules, you can only say this here and this here.
Really, that's interesting. I always thought the fingers were the fingers of the employees that actually got in there when they were trying to grind up the chicken and got caught in the blades.
If you guys are looking to drink at work but still retain your medical, professionalism, as it were, it's been in the professionality. It's been in the negative here, like for a while. It's very, very cold. Yet the other day I was still craving iced coffee, and there's nothing to do about that except make some iced coffee. So I made a bunch of cold brew, and I wasn't going to use like I've got beans for espresso and stuff. I wasn't going to use that. So I found this old bag of coffee. It's got to be 2 years old of these beans, like just an open bag, not a canister with a seal, of like this French roast stuff. And I smelled it, smelled stale. The beans were super like dry, but I was like, we'll do it anyway. So I grind it up. I pour all the grinds into a jar. I pour the water in it for the cold brew. And at that point, it's normally like black, and you put it in the fridge and you wait 24 hours and you're good. It didn't change color. Like it was still just water with just coffee bits floating in it. And I was like, okay. I kind of thought it would be like a Crystal Pepsi situation where I would make clear coffee and make billions
And
of
then
dollars.
brag about it. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't happen. It did end up changing color. It just took a while to do it. And it does not taste, it tastes like whiskey. Like just cold. It doesn't have the burn, obviously, but it's just like the flavor is not coffee. It's whiskey. And it's not unpleasant. I just like taking it to work and like looking over my shoulder and being like, ooh, no one knows.
No one knows that this tastes like whiskey.
Yeah.
Does anyone else feel super warm inside right now? You're drinking coffee, right? Am I?
They're like, Tony, it sounds like there's ice in that. It's -3 degrees and the heater isn't working. And I'm like, I'll never tell.
Never tell. Yeah, I'm surprised Crystal Pepsi never took off. By the way.
It's too... Have you ever had it?
No.
I had it when they brought it back. It just, to be fair, I don't really drink many brown sodas anymore. I think that's the oldest I've ever sounded. I don't really drink brown soda.
Brown soda.
But it's weird. I guess it tastes like Pepsi. To me, it's just so sweet because you don't expect that level of sweetness.
Really?
It's like when you're to drink blindfolded and they're like, here's a drink, and you don't know what it is. Like Coke and Pepsi are way sweeter than anyone gives them credit for until you don't know you're drinking them. And then you're like, oh my God, this is syrup.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't drink. I've actually really gotten away from
Also,
pop.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
These
Hashtag
days.
that LaCroix life.
Also, I know we got some Midwestern boys here. Do you guys say pop or soda? I had this conversation at work the other day.
I've never really given it much thought until I moved down here to Quincy.
Okay.
Because I think I just use them interchangeably. I can't say pop anymore. People call me out if I do.
Yeah.
Like I'm a weirdo, so I have to say soda.
That's what happens. That's what happened at work because I say I'm 100% pop.
Me too.
I don't really say soda ever. So I got
I
called
definitely
out.
don't say soda pop. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, that's
We're not in 1948.
yeah. So I got called out, and they were like, they all say soda. Learned an interesting tidbit that I didn't know. I guess down south in certain places, everyone
Yes.
calls it Coke.
Everything is Coke.
Everything's
Doesn't matter
Coke.
what.
That's true.
Doesn't matter what
There's-
pop you're talking about. It's Coke.
There's
No,
white Coke and orange Coke. Yep.
In Mexico, that's the way it is. You're like, would you like a Coke, sir? And they literally mean, do you want a pop? And you're like, no, I'll have a Sprite. They're like, oh, one Coke coming up.
Who's going to Mexico and ordering anything but tequila.